go with the guy that I trust mostly in Patrick Mahomes. I can spot you 14. I may be able to spot you 21. I got enough confidence in my weapons around me to come and get you. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes.
Wow, yeah, I'm going with the leading candidate for MVP and Patrick Mahomes. I just want to see how Drew Brees does when he gets cracked one or two times. How he gets up, what that throwing motion looks like. If he's still sore, first game back, I'm going Patrick Mahomes.
We're going to go off the board here a little bit. Sometimes it's not man versus food, it's man versus animal. This is a report that came out the other day that a farmer in South Africa was mauled to death by his pet hippo. The hippo, he said, was, quote, like a son to me. The hippo even had a name. It's Humphrey.
Yeah,
so,
but Zubin.
Go ahead.
Zubin.
Yes.
What's wrong with people, though? Like, hippos are not pets. I just don't understand what people,
Humphrey?
Tigers, and I don't get it. Like, why are you messing with wild animals? And on top of that, this isn't the first time that the hippo went crazy on somebody. He attacked the son and the man before. His own son and the man who was the owner of the hippo. Like, what is wrong with people?
Wait, he got attacked by Mr. Hippo? Mr. Hippo? How do you have a pet hippo named Humphrey? This is like Mike Tyson having 3 Bengal tigers. Like, why do people do this type of stuff?
I have
Ruben?
no idea.
Where the hell did this story even come from?
I have no idea why people do these sorts of things, Zubin. It was in South Africa, and he got mauled by his. Now, see, do you really think that the hippo want to be caged in and treated such? Like, think about it. Tigers, any of that. When you start watching those shows and the people are whipping the tigers, man, a tiger he's going to retaliate at some point in time. He's going to get tired of you hitting on him. I mean, people and their hippos and all these animals, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
He's like a son to me.
And
I'm looking online. I'm seeing him ride the hippo in the wilderness, like in random rivers.
If I can't pick you up when you get out of control and throw you, I don't want you around. I don't want huge dogs. I don't want any of that. If I can't pick you up and get rid of you when you start to act a certain way, I don't want you in my household. I don't want you. Makes no sense.
Very interesting name, Zubin and Humphrey. Very interesting name. Humphrey, the hippo. Okay.
Yes. Last thing, don't evade the question. We asked, take your pick, man versus hippo.
Man, stop, man. I'm
stop.
taking the hippo
wins
all day
every
long.
damn time.
Stop from the guy that demanded we do this story. Let's do SportsCenter.
He's certainly going to be up for Defensive Player of the Year. He'll win Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he may win Rookie of the Year as a whole. He's playing phenomenal out of his mind. This is why he was the overall favorite to be the number 1 overall pick, but Cincinnati needed a quarterback, so therefore they passed on Chase Young. He fell to Washington. Washington certainly got him a great one.
Rich Paul has done it again, not only on the basketball side, but also on the football side, and having Chase Young. I've been saying this all year. I got 99 problems, and Chase Young is all of them. Even watching the way the Giants defense handled Russell Wilson, not allowing him to get to the outside, the Washington, that defense is on a different level. They've been playing at such a high level of football lately. I'm going with Chase Young in this one.
All right, fellas. The NFL week actually begins tonight with the Chargers and the Raiders. That means Herbert versus Carr. Key, what do you think? Take your pick.
I'm gonna take Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is a phenomenal rookie quarterback who's just coming into his own, learning how to play the pro game. Had to go from shotgun primarily at Oregon to underneath the center in the National Football League. Has turned out phenomenal in terms of getting the ball to his receivers. He's one of the best young quarterbacks that we've seen come out in a very, very long time. And I think he has a real bright future in the National Football League.
I think he has a real bright future as well. I just know the situation the Chargers are in, even coming off that win against the Falcons before. I just feel like this Oakland Raiders team, their back is against the wall here. You're hearing a lot of rumblings about John Gruden, what's happening in Oakland, considering the way they dropped their last couple of games, and they were once in playoff contention. Now they're kind of hovering there. I think this is a huge statement game for David Carr to come out and say, hey, we're not who you guys think we are. We're going to start trending back in the right direction.
Indeed. We'll see what happens tonight. The young kid, Justin Herbert, against Derek Carr, the kid who's trying to prove to Gruden, you still need me moving forward. That's a juicy storyline, especially if the Raiders miss the playoffs. Brian Flores said just the other day that he thinks Tua can learn a ton in his matchup with the Patriots. Remember, in week 1, it was Fitzpatrick that was out there, so Tua will see Bill Belichick for the first time. Cam versus Tua, Key.
You know, I think Cam needs a bounce back, and I'm going to take Cam in this situation. I think he needs a bounce back. I know Brian Flores kind of understands what New England likes to do. He's a great defensive coordinator. They lost to the Patriots earlier this season. I look forward to him coming back. Julian Edelman is off IR. He's back in the fold. So I'm looking to see a different Cam team, a different New England Patriots go up against Tua and Brian Flores.
I think this is a statement game for the Miami Dolphins to show that they are not only here, but they are a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. Look, Cam has only thrown for 5 TDs. I know he's ran for a lot more, and that's still not, the only dimension aspect of his game that you're going to actually qualify him on. But I just think the way that Tua and the Dolphins are playing right now, it's a huge opportunity for them to make a statement. I think they will.
This is a battle of two embattled quarterbacks for totally different reasons. Trubisky and Cousins, Key.
Ooh. I'm gonna take Mitch Trubisky. I'm gonna go with Mitch Trubisky in this one. Mitch needs to have another game and play like he played last week. If he does that, then it's an indictment on Matt Nagy in terms of his understanding of what the quarterback position should look like. When you bench the guy that was 3-0, and now you put him back in the lineup, and he comes out and has another big game, I have questions about your understanding of the position.
I would love to see Mitch Trubisky get this win. I really would. It would just continue to build the saga of one of the best soap operas that you're watching on national television. I got a chance the other day to see Stephen A. Smith on, I think it was All My Children, one of those shows, and he was so dramatic, and I feel like that's what happens every time I watch Matt Nagy speak. It continues to get more and more dramatic, especially if Mitchell Trubisky wins. With that being said, there's no way the Minnesota Vikings leave 13 points on the board. Kirk Cousins gets the win. Move on.
We'll move on to a very interesting matchup in the desert on Sunday. Jalen Hurts making his second career start against Kyler Murray. Key, Hurts and Murray.
I'm gonna take Kyler Murray in this situation at the quarterback spot. He's got to continue to keep his team in the hunt. He's got to do a better job in terms of delivering the football, play much better than he's played the last several weeks of throwing the football. I'm not so much worried about his scampering around and running. I want to see him throw the football. I want to see him get back to the early Kyler Murray early in the season. The interesting thing about this particular game, you got two guys from Oklahoma. Both of them transferred. One from A&M, Texas A&M, the other from Alabama. They go to Lincoln Riley's air raid system. They have phenomenal college careers. They both are now in the pros, going up against each other for the first time. And on top of that, Kyler Murray could somewhat emulate what Jalen Hurts is going to do, as well as Brett Hundley, his backup in Arizona, to give his defense a look at Jalen Hurts. I don't necessarily know that the Philadelphia Eagles will be able to do that for Kyler Murray.
Key, I'm actually shocked that you're going to watch this game. I mean, who would? Wow.
That's a good game. That's a good game.
Two quarterbacks under 6'1", both cute, and they have Keyshawn Johnson's attention. This is not about Keyshawn Johnson, Jay. We're making waves here, Keyshawn. We're coming up. With that being said, I think it continues to build for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I think Doug Peterson has found a gem. Even though he's been a little bit reluctant, I think he's going to look back on this and say, Jalen Hurts is a baller, and he's going to prove it again this weekend.
This is interesting. Sunday night for the second straight week, actually in the span of less than a week, the Browns are